Hey everyone, I'm Rob Moore. I'm the CTO as well as co-founder at Churnkey. And today I want to show you how to use text overrides to customize every button and piece of text within your cancel flow, as well as how to add multi-language support using our built-in translations or your own. We'll come to the cancel flow homepage, and if you have a cancel flow, a lot of this is customizable within the editor. So you can set, for instance, what's your favorite color is all typed out there. However, there are some buttons that are set by default. For instance, things like your feedback up in the header here, as well as the go back and next buttons. So first of all, to override these buttons, come over to flow settings, and if you scroll down to text overrides, you'll see all of the different hard-coded values that we have, and you are able to override any of those here. So for instance, if instead of next, I wanted this button to say continue, you can save that change and you'll see now this will say continue instead of next. The other thing that I want to show you is how to add multi-language support. You'll see that by default we have support for English, French, German, and Spanish. So by default all of these languages have overrides for these different buttons, so you don't need to go in and create anything for those if you just want to use the defaults. To use that within the cancel flow, when you are initializing your cancel flow, window.churnkey.init show, you can pass in an I18N, which stands for internationalization parameter. And within that, you can pass in a lang element. So for instance, if you wanted to show the French text overrides for those buttons, you can pass in lang fr. Well, this is just our sample app that we have. When you click this, all the default text will then show the French version of it. So you'll notice up here in the header and the buttons down here will all show the French versions of it. Now, as you probably noticed, it's still the main English text here. So we've taken care of the hard-coded buttons, but we actually want the whole cancel flow to be in French as well. And to do this, what you want to do is create a new segmented cancel flow for those French customers. So if you click Add Cancel Flow, what you can do is you can set a custom attribute, and let's call this something like language, and you can call this whatever you want, but something like language is recommended, and we'll save that. And then what we can do is we can say, call this for French customers, and then we'll set custom attribute. You'll be able to select the language is FR. And when we do this, so I will quickly copy over the cancel flow that we just set. So this is going to copy over, it's going to be this one step of what's your favorite color, and I will activate that. And so how segments work is it will look through this customer attributes property here, and it will look for a matching property. So what we just called was language. It'll look for a property which is FR. And if that is the case, it will show the French version of that. And so what I'm going to do very quickly here is just translate this into French. All right, I apologize to anyone that is French and these translations probably aren't 100%. But what we have here is the same color survey now translated in French within the cancel flow editor. So now when we come to our cancel flow and we click manage subscription here, brings up the cancel flow, and now it'll show both the overrides from French as well as the actual cancel flow, which is translated by us into French. And so what I want to make clear here is that there are two separate things going on. The first is the internationalization property, this I18N, and this is for the built-in buttons and text, which is overwritten either by passing in a parameter here within the JavaScript code, or anything that we override in French here will be the equivalent of writing in something like FR next and then our own French translation of that. So that would be the same exact thing as coming in here and saying French translation. The second thing that's happening is the custom filtering using custom attributes and the segmented cancel flow. So that's where we come and we pass in the language attribute as a custom attribute, and then we use that custom attribute to filter or who sees what cancel flow. So that's where this comes into play. And there are also some docs on this where it will show you how to set this up, as well as it shows you all of the different phrases that can be overwritten. The last thing that I want to point out is that you can add new languages that don't have default support. So for instance, if you wanted to add Italian language support, you could type in IT, which is the language code. The thing here is that we don't have built-in translations for those. So for all the button overrides, by default, they're going to show the English. So what you would want to do in these cases is come in here and write the Italian translations for all that language. Then again, you would come in here and you would pass in lang is IT for Italian. And you would also want to set up a segmented cancel flow probably to show the main cancel flow text in Italian. Okay, hopefully this all makes sense. Do, as always, let us know if you have any questions. We are happy to help.